Hello, how are you doing? Let me put this banner up. Hold on. 3 best funnels to sell. Save, show. Ta-da! How's it going, everybody? Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm going to ask for a really quick little check. I'll probably edit this out. I want to make sure that, frankly, I am audible. People can hear me, I think is what I'm trying to say. Hello. Yeah, that sounds good. Excellent. How's everybody doing today? This is actually some training where we're going to be talking about the 3 best marketing funnels to sell, which might sound a bit bizarre. And you might have thought of marketing funnels as this one long, massive process. If you are watching, hello. Fantastic. Thank you so much. Glad to hear that. If you are watching, let me know in the comments. Say hello in the comments. I can read them in real time. And if you're on Facebook as well, but I think on Facebook you have to go to streamyard.com/Facebook. Hey, Jag, how's it going? Totally free training, completely opt-in free. If you think that this is valuable, I'd really appreciate a share, especially if you're on YouTube as well, just to get other people in, because we all know other funnel builders. And what I'm going to break down here is pretty much how I ran my agency. I'm basically just going to give you the 3 products that I used to sell. And if you have any questions, by all means, just throw them in the chat and then we can get to them. I think a lot of people believe that marketing funnels are huge, long, massively complicated, complex things that involve email and Facebook and squeeze pages and remarketing and automation. And while that's true to an extent, they are big, long, complex pieces. They actually don't have to be these massive, long, complex projects. The number one question that I get asked when talking about how do I build a marketing funnel for a customer is people understand what a website is, as in you, the agency, understand what a website is. You understand how a website gets put together. Is this a ClickFunnels type of thing? No, definitely not a fucking ClickFunnels thing. I'm not affiliate. I don't even use ClickFunnels. The project. Don't know what happened there. I went off for a second. Definitely not ClickFunnels. Fuck no. In fact, in the flow section of these 3 different funnels, I'm going to tell you kind of how you can put them together. I don't really care what you use. I personally use Beaver Builder, Access Ally, and Active Campaign, as well as Opt-in Monster. But we're actually going to talk about the higher level stuff and, more importantly, how to sell them. The reason that my agency was able to build and sell marketing funnels a long time before even ClickFunnels existed, or the concept of a funnel, like a marketing funnel or marketing automation funnel, was well known, is because we broke it down into different product types and we didn't call it a funnel. So rule 1 of selling marketing funnels is don't call them marketing funnels. But what I'm going to break down for you today are the 3 best type of marketing funnels, or the 3 best funnel projects that you can sell to customers. I've called them the list builder, the faster sales, and the traffic magnet, because those are the 3 products essentially that we're going to be building. We're going to look at what the type of funnel is, who benefits from it the most, which is probably the most important piece, because this is going to tell you who to target and who benefits from it. Because although these funnels kind of fit in with each other, and when you get into bigger and bigger projects, they all kind of merge together, there's no reason why you can't say, I'm just going to do list builder funnels. I'm just going to do faster sales funnels. There's no reason why you can't do that. And again, you don't have to call them funnels. In fact, I would argue that you shouldn't call them marketing funnels. Quick shout out to Matthew Rodella for Turnkey Websites. This is his t-shirt. Quit staring at my wass. I got this at Recurring Revenue Retreat. It's one of my favorite shirts. We'll be watching it first thing in the morning. Awesome. I'm glad to hear that, Yogesh. That's great news. So we'll also be looking at the benefits of the funnel, because that's ultimately what you're going to sell. That's the sales pitch. When you're talking to customers, they don't want a traffic magnet. They don't necessarily want faster sales. They certainly don't want a marketing funnel. What they want is the benefits that are specific to them. And what we'll also do is writing these out. You'll be able to take a screenshot, or I'll maybe send this out as an email, and you'll be able to take a look at it. And then finally, I'm going to go over a brief overview of the flow, which is the actual structure that you'll build. All of these can be built anywhere from $10,000 to $25,000 plus, depending on what the type of customers that you're going after. I reckon we're just going to get into it. So these funnels I have identified as 3 really profitable products that you could sell to your customers. You could just sell one of them. In fact, I would maybe even suggest that you do just sell one of them. And we start with the list builder. The list builder is essentially a lead generation tool. And what this does is allow your websites generation. This basically allows your websites to generate leads on automation. So if you're building for customers, and you can perhaps already see what the benefits are for this particular one, this is huge for them because they're able to, so I've got my notes here just to make sure. This is going to be how they're going to generate leads. And you'll see in each one of these segments that certain people are going to benefit from this more than others. A big problem that funnel builders face is they try to build like a sales funnel or a traffic funnel for a customer that isn't really going to benefit from it. So this now will allow you to think, well, actually, I want to work with this type of customer and I want to deliver these kinds of benefits. So this would be the solution I'd want to work with. This is also about email list building. So your email list, or your customer's email list and yours, is still the most important asset that you can build. If I had to get rid of my website or get rid of my CRM database, I'd get rid of the website because I can replicate that anywhere and I can take the blog content and put it anywhere. My email list is essentially 10,000, 12,000 people for me personally at the moment who have heard of me, who know me, who trust me. We've got a pretty good open rate. So I would rather get rid of my website before I get rid of my CRM. If your customers know that they want to build an email list, this is the type of funnel you're going to want to build for them. And the final thing that the list builder funnel does is it comes up with product ideas. I'm going to show you how, but when we've implemented this funnel here for some of our customers, insurance agents was one of them, they were told essentially by their customers, by their traffic, we want this type of product. We believe in this type of statement. We like this type of messaging. It's almost like testing out headlines on your audience in real time. Even though it's a list builder, even though it's a lead generator, you can actually get incredible product ideas from this type of funnel. Now, who benefits from this? The number one type of customer that you can sell this to is someone who already has traffic. Now, you might be thinking, well, if they've already got traffic, then how can I help? Because traffic's the number one thing that people want. There are so many businesses that have tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of visitors a year, a month, who aren't generating any leads. They essentially have that old school thing where they have tons of people come into their website, and they hope that people are going to buy. And if they do, great. You know, and that's a 0.1% conversion rate. And if they don't, they just fall off. And they might have a remarketing campaign or something. But what you're going to be able to do is you're going to be able to say to them, actually, if you've already got traffic, I'm going to show you how to generate a list of leads and buyers, as well as grow your email list and grow an email asset that will actually reduce your advertising cost. So they have to have traffic already. They also really need to be creating content. So ideally, they've already got content on the site. And I don't mean like an about page. I mean, they're regularly producing a podcast. They're regularly producing YouTube content. They're regularly producing even social content, which is kind of the other one. Maybe they already have a social presence, or they have a following, or they have an audience of some sort. Again, you would be staggered at the number of influencers on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, all of these kinds of places who have fucking no idea how to make money from their 20,000, 100,000, 200,000 followers or subscribers on YouTube, unless they go, well, I have to get sponsorship, I have to do advertising, and I have to create merchandise. You and I know, well, fuck, if you just put a landing page together and drove a bunch of your audience to that landing page and then sold to them, you're basically turning money over hand over fist. They don't know that. Don't take for granted your knowledge. So if they've got a social following and they already have traffic, this is the perfect type of funnel for them to start with. Not to say that we can't move through, but right now, this is where they'll want to start with. They also, right. The last thing is maybe they only have one type of product and they want to basically what we call diversify. If they want to diversify their product range, maybe they want to offer more products and services. This is actually a really good place. Mallory, how frequently should they be producing content? It needs to be at a minimum weekly, Mallory, minimum weekly, this type of customer. If they have a YouTube channel that's like one video a month and they've got thousands or even millions of views, great. But as a rule, they want to produce at minimum, and you want to have seen that they're producing content for at least a year. It sounds like a long time. That's still tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of people. What that does is it shows you two things. One, they've got consistency and they're continuing their process. They're continuing to do it. Anyone can do content for 6 months and then drop it. We've seen it time and time again. So they want to be doing content for at least 6 months, at least a year, you know, getting over that initial hump. And if they're producing it weekly, it also shows you that they're committed. Yes, there are cases where people have only got like 12 YouTube videos. Mark Roberts an example of that, but he produces extremely high quality long form videos. There's no reason why you couldn't go after that at all, but you want to see some kind of consistency. It doesn't necessarily even matter about views. It's more about, are they consistently creating content? That's a good question though. So the benefits. So the benefits are basically like what you sell. This is your messaging. First of all, the number one thing that I like about the list builder funnel is there's less time networking. Networking is powerful, sure, but it's expensive, it's time consuming, and right now, as of 2020, the time of recording, face-to-face networking pretty much out the window. Even if people say, yeah, but we've got back on Zoom, it still took a while for that to ramp up. If you build a list builder funnel for people, there's no reason why they would ever have to attend a single networking event again. I haven't. I don't bother with networking events at all because I think they're kind of outdated, to be honest, and I don't really like the idea of sharing breakfast with that many people. So there's less networking. So it might be that you want to approach, let's say that there's a local telco provider. These exist, by the way. A local telco provider, they produce weekly blog content or helpful video content. Maybe they even have a podcast, but they know that the majority of their sales guys have to go out networking for those big deals. And that doesn't necessarily have to happen anymore. And that's taken from a real life example. We could say, well, how about we stop networking as much, start building a list builder funnel, a lead build generation funnel, and then we take it over from there. How does that sound? And most people are pretty open to that. Another benefit, you get to prove what's popular. So as marketers, you know, we're constantly being told like, what's the ROI? What's the return on investment? You know, and I'm like, well, I can actually tell you that this blog post generates 200 leads for you a week, a month, a year, whatever, 100 leads. This one doesn't. I can tell you that, and this is why it comes to product ideas, this blog post on, you know, how to change a SIM card or which type of dual SIM card phone should you get is super, super popular. This tells us that our audience are interested in this type of content. If you have a list, and the way I'm going to tell you how to generate those product ideas is interesting as well. It also shows you how close people are to the buying decision. If you work with a particular company, maybe they do camera reviews, for example, and they have they have a series of camera posts, like the best vlogging cameras for 2020, the best Nikon cameras, the best DSLR, the best mirrorless cameras, whatever. And you offer a lead generation tool, the same one across all those different blog posts. And you can see that one of them increases the leads, like way more people sign up to it. That indicates that that type of blog post, people who are reading it are closer to buying. They're more wanting to make a decision. So there's loads of analytics you can get just from beginning to build an email list out of it. Perhaps the biggest one, leads on automation. Who doesn't want to just grow their lead list on automation? So this was what, and also I want to say, I guess, lower advertising costs. These two together, when you talk to your customers and you say, hey, what we're able to do for you is lower your ad costs and just generate leads for you 24 hours a day, That's very difficult to turn down. Don't fucking talk about marketing funnels. Don't talk about email marketing, list building, anything. Just focus on those two things. A lot of your customers are pretty much sick of generating leads at cost and also lowering their ad cost. They want to lower their ad cost, their ad spend. You're able to do that with the list builder. There's a massive advantage to basically taking their content and installing a series of opt-in posts. Let me go through the flow then. So this is what you're going to build, right? Ultimately, remember, they've already got traffic and they've already got content. So there's probably going to be two places where they have those. First of all, there's going to be some sort of social platform. For the sake of it, I'm going to say they're on YouTube. This could be Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, doesn't really matter. There's some kind of social platform that they don't own. Then they've got their website and they create content. They're already driving traffic to those places. Sorry, this should be coming from this direction, shouldn't it? They're already driving traffic to those places. And what you're able to do is twofold. First of all, and this is quite a specific series of steps, the traffic they are currently getting to the website, even if they have a lot of traffic coming to the site and they don't create content and they don't create YouTube content, that's fine. If they still have traffic coming to the site, which still happens, a lot of businesses, have a lot of traffic coming to their site, but they don't necessarily have blog content. What I want to do is I want to install a pop-up opt-in, specifically what we call a 2-click pop-up. And I'm going to do an A/B test, which is essentially a split test. Now, if they have their site built on something like Beaver Builder, Elementor, you can build this in already. I use a tool called Opt-in Monster. And the reason I like Opt-in Monster is because I can really quickly deploy an A/B test. I'll take a look at their traffic. I'll do a bit of a deep dive. And everyone from telco businesses to fitness to nutrition to marketing, coffee, everything, right? I'm able to say, I'm going to put 2 opt-ins in front of them. I'm going to say, do you want to download our best ever niche coffees list, like the best ever coffee, micro coffees around the world? Or do you want to know how to make the perfect espresso? I'm just going to put the pop-up in front of them, the opt-in. And ideally, if they've got a lead magnet or something, yeah, I put that behind it so they can have that. I want to basically measure which one do people click on the most. They go, oh, I actually really want I want to know about how to make the perfect espresso. Click, 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 click. And one of them will win out, right? Whatever one wins, let's say that this gets a 5% opt-in rate and this one gets a 3% opt-in rate. I'm going to take the messaging from the one that wins and I'm going to create a squeeze page for it with pretty much the exact same messaging. And I'm going to say how to make the perfect espresso, because I've proven that that's more popular. And this is why I like this system, because you're taking the traffic that they've already got and you're asking them, what do you want to see more of? Do you want more sales strategies or do you want a list of niches? Do you want a marketing funnel proposal written out and ready to go, or a blog post template? Do you want product launch templates or a YouTube script? Do you want to know the perfect espresso? Do you want to know why you shouldn't stir your espresso? The top 5 coffee companies in the UK, the top 5 ethical companies in the UK. And I'm constantly testing this split test opt-in in front of them, which is why I like Opt-in Monster. And I take whatever's popular, I create a landing page, and then in the descriptions or the links or the follow-on content for all of the social content, I'll say, make sure to head over to this squeeze page to get your links for your top 5 coffee recipes or how to make an espresso. Opt-in, like the plugin for WordPress for landing pages. Do messenger funnels using chatbots convert better than traditional funnels with email? From Deepak. Are you talking about exit pop-ups for those who flash in front of an audience from the get-go? So there's a few questions here, Deepak. Thank you so much. I'm going to answer these. Number 1, do messenger funnels using chatbots convert better than traditional funnels with email? The short answer is there's no way of knowing, Deepak. It's like saying, is rock music better than classical music? there are some really shit rock bands. There are some incredible rock bands. There's some really shit classical composers. There are some great classical composers. The tool is irrelevant. Don't fucking worry about the tool. The number one thing I have learned from seeing this all the way back when we had to hand build our CRMs is that it's the content that converts. I'm constantly being asked, we've got this new type of sales page, you've got a chatbot conversion, email conversion. Frank Kern popularized the content of the concept of the autoresponder and responding to people for 100 days or whatever. He has openly said that he was testing that and it doesn't really work anymore. And the messenger bot works in the same way. You could have an incredibly tight messenger bot that works, and you could have a messenger bot that's shit. My advice would be focus on the message that goes to that customer and test the sales message and make it as simple as possible. I'm a big fan of landbot.io as a messenger tool. It's kind of like halfway between a squeeze page and a messenger bot. But don't worry about the tools. One is not necessarily better than the other. It's impossible to say. Are you talking about exit pop-ups or those that flash in front of the audience from the get-go? Both. Right? I have one opt-in, and if they've been on the page for longer than 5 seconds, shows up. And if they try to exit, it also shows up. It's the same one. It's the exact same pop-up, which is again why I like Opt-in Monster, because I'm able to say to it, I want you to show after 5 seconds, 10 seconds. I want you to show as soon as someone exits. Everyone says, I fucking hate those, but I will take a 6%, which is currently ours is converting at 6%. I'll take a 6% opt-in rate over anything. The reason I like this is because it takes the current traffic and tests, well, what do they want to see more about? And you just brainstorm a bunch of ideas. You think, well, let's just test these. Some good indicators are what are the most popular pages, popular blog posts, what's the most popular video. Let's take that kind of message and create a lead magnet off the back of that. Throw that up. And they go, great, this one was 5%, this one was 0% or 0.1%. Well, that's still fine because we can still then take that one that was 5%. Clearly people are interested in that. Let's use that one and then create the squeeze page off the back of that. And then that's what I use. Even if you're putting it on like old content, if they've already got a YouTube channel, just put it in the links, just the description link, right? And you're able to say, by the way, if you're creating all this social content, wouldn't it be great to generate some actual leads from this? Yes, please. Here's how we're going to test it. Here's how we're going to build it. And you grow their list over time. So that is the first type there. Quality of the content. The tools are a red hair. Michael Gorman, as always, speaking my language. Good, sir. Yeah, that's, and we found insurance companies who are already generating a ton of traffic to their site. And we basically did this. And we tested it in loads of places. The bottom, they already had blog content. We tested them at the bottom of blog posts, and then we ended up testing it. But on the squeeze page, I want to A/B test the headline, the button, right? The opt-in, I want to test the offer. Put two completely different offers in front of people, because that will give me at least some indication as to what people are interested in. So, faster sales. Although this is probably the one that most people think that businesses want, I think this is the hardest one for new businesses to wrap their head around. No kind of surprises here. This is a sales funnel heavily focused on sales exclusively. This is also about revenue and what we call LTV, or specifically density. Density is a word for customer transactions. Is basically how often does that single person buy? How often do people buy products? How often do people buy that product? And what is their average sale value? And if you can increase all four of those, ideally, you can double the size of your business by actually just increasing each one by 25%. That's really roughly the math. So this helps sales, it helps with what we call transaction density, and of course it's a revenue generator. Who benefits from this the most? People who benefit from this have already got products. So they already have a product line. So this is not necessarily for businesses that have just got one service or one product. The reason you can get product ideas from the list builder is because let's say that 5% of people are interested in how to make the perfect espresso. There's no reason why this business wouldn't be able to source a load of like white label espresso machine stuff, package it up and sell it for 20 bucks or 100 bucks or 300 bucks or whatever it is. So that's why it gives you product ideas. If they don't have a product line, it's going to be very difficult to build a faster sales process, because if they're only relying on, you know, like a $5,000 product, there's nothing I can do necessarily with this particular model to help increase that. If, however, they say, actually, we'd be open to the idea of doing a $197 and a $19 product, like a book or, you know, some training or some software or free access or whatever, then that's very different. But they have to be open to it, or better yet, have a product line already. They need to be generating leads. So ideally, they're actually already doing something like this. And again, you might be thinking, well, if they're generating leads, what's the problem? I guarantee you there are businesses out there who are generating leads every single day, building a huge email list and not doing anything with them. We know this to be true. Who here has got an opt-in form that says sign up for our newsletter on your website and then you're not doing anything with them? You've got a product line as well. Partly because I'm showing you 3 products here, but you could do email marketing, social media marketing, whatever, everything in between. You've got a product suite, a product menagerie, but you're not doing anything with those leads that you generate. I don't believe it's a marketer's job to get sales. It's about getting leads, then it's up to them. Completely disagree with you, Mallory. That's 100% incorrect. It is absolutely your job to generate sales, 100%. Marketing's job is to make sales irrelevant by generating revenue for the business. If you just want to focus on generating leads, there's nothing wrong with that whatsoever. If you want to just generate leads for customers, great, that's awesome. If you want to just generate audience, great, that's 100% fine. But a marketer's job is to help people know, like, and trust them. To that point, they end up generating a sale. The sales process is very different. I completely agree with you on that. The sales process is very different. And if you just want to generate leads for people, that's absolutely fine. But a marketer's job can absolutely categorically help people generate sales. Because I'll tell you, sure as shit, that if you showed this to a salesperson, they start sweating, they go, fuck, well, what's the point in my role anymore? And it sure as hell isn't going to be a salesperson generating this. A marketer in this funnel is going to have to come up with copy. They're going to have to come up with an offer. They're going to have to come up with messaging. They're going to have to make sure that the branding is consistent. They're going to have to make sure that the customer experience is all great, and much, much more. That entire process is getting people to know, like, and trust both the person, as in the customer, and the product. It's not enough to just say, we're just going to generate leads and leave it at that. If your business is just lead generation, great. But marketers should absolutely be generating sales. In fact, the #1 bugbear I have is marketers thinking they're above sales. You could have 20 million leads, but as soon as the bank comes knocking and says, I need you to pay the mortgage, you go, oh, we've got 20 million leads. I don't care. Revenue, in fact, not even that, profit is the #1 goal of all businesses. All businesses' #1 goal is to make revenue and profit. The #1 goal of all entrepreneurs is to raise capital. That's it. If you believe that your best placement, like your skill set, and that's nothing wrong with your skill set, just being in lead generation, absolutely fine. But to say that marketing is either above or outside of sales is completely incorrect, and a massive perversion of everything that marketing has been working so hard to achieve. But if you've got content and stuff saying otherwise, I'd gladly check it out. So who? They need to be generating leads already. Essentially, it's the same thing. They want to be converting traffic. So you might find that you've got people with an advertising campaign who are already generating leads. They might even have an advertising campaign that's making sales, but at some point you want to see them to be converting traffic. At some point you want to see them converting people who don't know that they exist into someone who going, I trust you a little bit here and I want to learn more about it. So if you've got this, these are the types of people that can generate from this type of product funnel or this type of funnel. And ideally as well, if they've got an audience, that helps as well. But that's not massively necessary. What are the benefits? So the biggest one, this is crazy, this one, is free advertising. And I'm going to show you how. If you could tell your customers how much you spend a month or a day on advertising, they say, oh, we spend 10 grand a month on advertising, $1,000 a month on advertising, whatever, $1,000 a day on advertising, doesn't matter. You say, what if I could make that free for you? What if I could make advertising free? You go, what? Yeah, yep. For every $1,000 you put in, you get 1,000 out minimum. That's a really compelling offer. Not talking about sales funnels, not talking about marketing automation, not talking about tools, not talking about messenger chatbots. How much you spend on advertising? $1,000 a day. What if I could turn that into $1,000 a day? What if I could help you generate leads at cost? What if you could generate sales at cost? The cost of acquisition, CPA, cost per acquisition, is the #1 metric that all businesses need to be looking at, outside of profit or revenue, cash flow. CPA is a big one. You ask a customer, how much do you pay per customer? They probably won't know. If they do know, you can help lower that cost per acquisition. So you can help lower CPA and, to an extent, cost per lead, but that's slightly harder to work out. Those two there, businesses are going to be salivating over. They go, fuck, you can really do that? Yep, I want to show you how. It's not quick, but it is possible. There's also, we've talked earlier about this density. You can increase the lifetime value of a customer, or what we call transaction density. I wouldn't use the term transaction density too much unless they're an e-commerce store, because e-commerce will know what a transaction density is. But lifetime value, you'll also get, what if they bought sooner? What if I could get more people to buy from you sooner? Most people, as a very vague rule of thumb, this is from Google's data, the zero day of truth. Most people take about 90 days to buy, and they'll take like 8 interactions and 4 hours worth of content. That's a lot. What if we could eliminate that and skip that? And this is possible. So here's the flow for this. If someone opts in and is currently, or a business is currently generating leads, there's a part where the customer says, yeah, I want to sign up, right? I'm interested in this lead. This lead magnet. I'm interested in this piece of content. I'm interested in signing up. Okay, great. They will be, first of all, added to that email list. Here's where we're going to do this differently. Most people will create a little thank you box there that says, thank you, your email is on its way, and they'll keep them on the page. So let's say that this is website.com/freebie, right, or free. And they'll opt in, and a little message will come up saying, thank you so much for your opt-in. Thank you so much for your message. Thank you so much. We'll get back to you. Right, that's the first thing people do, which is wrong. The next thing that people do, which is wrong, is they'll redirect them straight away to the PDF. We think that if we send someone to the PDF, they'll be happy. Makes sense, right? And we say, hey, here's the PDF guide. They go, great. Again, wrong. What we're going to do is we're going to redirect them to a thank you page. The thank you page is, without a doubt, the most underutilized but valuable page in the marketer's arsenal. And we say a few things. First of all, we acknowledge. So we say, hey, I know that you've just entered your email address. You took a risk. We've got that. We've got your email address. And this is just a tiny lettering up the top. I totally understand. Thanks so much. You know, great. We've got this. Your email is on its way. Your email is on the way that, you know, to the email address you gave us. Make sure to check your spam folder. The next thing we do is we offer bonus training. We say, we've got this really short video. Click play below. Watch this video here. Because I want to teach you. Let's say that they've said, I want to find out the best way to make espresso. Go, great. I want to show you, I've got some bonus training on how to source the cheapest, most ethical ingredients and how to make barista quality coffee at home, even if you don't have a full-sized barista machine. Some bonus training. And what that video is a sales letter, or more specifically, a VSL. It is a video sales letter selling one of the lower ticket products. You end up dialing this in, and you end up essentially playing around with the messaging. It's not going to work. It does sometimes work straight away, depending on whose formula you use. in terms of conversion rates, let's say that you're generating, let's say from this page, you get a 40% conversion rate and you get a 5% conversion rate from this opt-in. So out of whatever it is, 100 people here and 100 people here, you've had 45 go through. This might convert at anywhere between 1% and 3%. So you'd need, 100 people to make 1 to 3 sales. And all you're doing, all right, the customer is never more likely to buy than when the offer is put in front of them. If I say to you, I want to show you how to create, great coffee or the best way to make espresso, your interest in making espresso is highest then. A lot of people go, yeah, now I'm going to let you think about it. No. I want to make sure that if someone's interested in this, there's obviously enough of a pain point where they thought, I need to fix this. I really want to fix this. I'm going to put in my email address. And then for me to say, I've got some bonus training and I've got another product that can help you. I'm not forcing you to take it, but I am saying there's an extra product here that can help you. This here, these sales, the 1 to 3 sales per 100 people, roughly speaking, that equates to what? $60? If it's a $20 product, we're up to about $50 sale. So that could be as much as $150. So you now know that you generate roughly $150 for every 100 people that opt in. At roughly a 45% conversion rate, that means that you have every 220 people roughly is worth $150. You dial it in, obviously you've got to test it, it's not straight away, but this does work. This system here works. For the sake of implementing a thank you page, our customers, and especially for insurance agents, furniture sales, info products, courses, coaching, sports training, sports equipment, bag launches like Holdall, Sack bag launches, this here has basically eliminated their advertising costs because they're able to put every single dollar from this sale here back into advertising because they know that the next sale that they make is going to be where the profit is. But Mike went with high ticket product sales really is a totally different animal altogether, and marketing can only do so much to aid the sales process and comes down to the closing capacity of the sales team. So Deepak, interesting question that. Mike, with high ticket products, let me know, Deepak, what do you think a high ticket product is? Tell me what a high ticket product, what's a range for a high ticket product? Because this is one of the biggest, and I've perpetuated this, and I shouldn't have done this. The method to generating what a high ticket sale is no different to generating a low ticket sale. It just takes more time. So people think, well, it'll only work longer, it'll only work with the shorter term sales. Is a high ticket sale, and I'm not having a go, Deepak, it's just a really good question that comes up. Is high ticket 5 grand, 10 grand, 80 grand, 450,000, 1.6 million? 1.6 million was the single largest sale that we ever made at our agency, was to take over what do you guys call it? Like timeshare? We don't really have it in the UK. That was pretty much generated through this system, $1.6 million. And the reason why we were able to generate this is absolutely due to the sales team, which was us. But we had to take them through this process at some point. We had to say, great, look, if you want us to take care of your email, absolutely fine. It's 25 grand, whatever. But you can absolutely level this up. And there are guys out there who are leveling this up for hundreds of thousands of dollars. Literally the exact same process. Because after someone buys this product, all right, they go, yeah, I want to buy it. They go to the checkout page. They enter in their details. After they buy that, first of all, there'll be an order bump here. Well, I'll also increase it, which is why we call it transaction density. And then I'll redirect them immediately to an even larger ticket. Let's say that this is 20 bucks. This one will then be 200. Now, I personally don't do the whole upsell. And some of the guys out there with the info products and the launches, they do like 10 upsell pages and it's crazy. I'm sure it converts, but I don't think it creates long-term customers personally. But this process of doing one upsell and a second upsell essentially generates the revenue to pay for the rest of your stuff. I would build this into my proposals. I would say, yeah, here's a 25 grand proposal, but if you want to, we have $100,000 process that will take you even further. Always use a thank you page. Give the link to the PDF. Always use a thank you page. 100%. Give the link to the PDF and then add another offer. No link. The link is sent via the email. So we redirect them to a thank you page. We say, thank you so much. Your PDF, your download, your training, software, whatever it is being sent to your email address. I'm going to show you guys, and you can get behind the scenes. Sellyourservice.com. I'm going to show you my thank you page that converts about 2%. One of them does. Share screen. Here we go. All right, share. So, thank you so much for downloading. Your 49 niche examples are on the way to your inbox right now. Click the play button to watch the bonus training below. Learn the 3-step weird method that shows fast, profitable niche that other funnel builders have ignored. And this is then a basically bonus training that then ends up with a sales letter. Now, I'm not saying that this is going to be something you're going to do immediately from the get-go. I'm not saying it's going to be something that you're going to be able to create overnight. But your customers, if they have a product line, for the sake of putting an offer in front of someone who's just become a lead, I don't know why we have this aversion to sales. It's a universal thing where people are like, I don't really want to make a sale. Someone's just opted in. I don't want to make a sale. Bullshit. This is the equivalent of you going to the doctor, saying, look, I've got these symptoms. This is where it hurts. Him going, great, we can fix this. Did you also know that you have a stomach ulcer or whatever? And he going, here's a further prescription. It's a bad analogy because I think we overprescribe, but imagine if the doctor knew that there was something else they could help with. All right? There's the really old adage where the guy starts work for a sporting goods store, and it's like he's a friend of a friend and he's a bit of a bum, but the guy said, the owner of the sports store says, yeah, well, you can come and work for me for a day, see how it is. It's a commission-based business, so make sure that every sale you make, that's what you're going to be taking home. 8 hours rolls past, the boss goes up to the guy and says, how many sales you made today? And the guy says, just the one. It's just one sale? Jeez. Goes, yeah, I managed to sell a huge yacht. You sold the huge fishing yacht over there, the $250,000 fishing yacht? Yeah. How the hell did you do that? Well, the guy came in and said, look, I'm looking for some fishing lures. And the guy was like, yeah, fishing lures are like what, 50p, 50 cents? He goes, yeah. So I took him over to the fishing lures. I said, look, if you're looking for new fishing lures, what are you fishing for? He says, we're going to go out the bay. We're going to try and hunt some marlin. Do you have a marlin rod? He goes, actually, no, we don't. I kind of need a new rod. So I took him over to the rods. And when we were at the rods, I said, how many guys are you going with? He said, oh, it's going to be a group of us, 4 or 5 of us. He goes, are you going to be able to keep all your stuff cool? If you catch one of those marlin, have you got like a net? So I sold him a net, and then I sold him a cool box. Before we knew it, I'd upsold him to the yacht. I guarantee the guy who bought the yacht was over the moon that someone came along and sold to him. If there's one thing worse than a salesperson pestering you, it's that there's no salesperson coming up whatsoever. So this process here says to the people, I completely understand. Thank you so much for downloading your free thing. It's being sent. Sending that email is via ActiveCampaign. Yeah, there's loads that do that. MailChimp can do it. Drip, Aweber, Campaign Monitor, they can all do the automation thing. They send the email, but you give them bonus training, which is essentially a video sales letter saying, I want to give you this product. It's not designed to be profitable. It's designed to pay for the cost of acquisition in the first place. And you could just build that. Just the thank you page. If you had a really tight system for selling that. I remember seeing that thank you page for 49 leashes. I see the thinking behind it. And I'm telling you, it basically allows me to continue advertising at scale. Last one, traffic magnet. I'm going to kind of flip this a little bit. It's not all about pages and funnels. I want to flip this a little bit. The traffic magnet is basically about helping them rank better. So it's about SEO ranking. And you might think, oh, look, I'm not a search optimization specialist. That's fine. Neither am I at all. I certainly don't call myself a search optimization specialist. But we do rank really well. And we've helped some customers rank for some amazing terms. This is also an authority piece. If you have a customer who is, like we said, an influencer, maybe speaker, sorry, they're not a speaker, but they want to get into speaking, or maybe they have a product, but they want to start kind of speaking at events, or maybe they want to justify or increase their prices. This is a great way of doing that by increasing their authority and increasing their impact in the marketplace. And finally, this is all about building out, obviously, traffic, kind of on automation, as well as audience. I'm going to talk about audience because this is going to be slightly different, I think, to what you guys are expecting. The type of business that really benefits from this is one that's already making sales. And, you know, incredibly, there are businesses that make sales without a lot of traffic. You know, they just do it through hard work and cold calling and moxie and grit, or they've been around for 20 years, but they don't get a lot of traffic to their website. So they're already generating sales. The reason this is important is because a business that's generating sales can afford to buy traffic. A business with zero sales can only afford to put time into their traffic process, which is going to take a long time. It still does take a while to rank, but for the sake of buying traffic, which is what we're going to be talking about, they need to be already generating sales. They're also doing lead generation. A good example of this would be a server business that we worked with back in 2013, maybe. Like the concept of virtual machines was becoming really big. The concept of working remotely was becoming bigger and more acceptable. And now everyone's phone does the things that entire servers were built to do 10 years ago. But these guys were attending a lot of events, huge number of events, and they were trying to generate leads through the classic, like the iPad giveaway. If you've ever been to one of those events, and I was like, hey, sign up here and get a free iPad. And they're a relatively new player to the market. They were doing sales, they were doing leads, but they weren't able to do them at scale. So they were struggling to do this at scale. They basically had sales teams and they needed to be able to do this at scale. They needed to be able to do it 24 hours a day. The benefits to this is, again, basically what you're going to be selling. First of all is audience growth. Now, if you're already generating sales, you've got an audience somewhere. And a lot of people are like, well, do people really want to know more about translation and localization? Do people really want to know more about, server racks? Yeah. Hundreds of thousands of people want to be a part of that. They want to understand that and be a part of that philosophy. Growing your audience, if you say, look, if you're already generating sales and leads, but you want to do it at scale, you're struggling to do it at scale, I'm going to show you how to increase your audience. Also, increase your prices, which is a big one. If you're able to say to a business, a coaching business maybe that's got like 5 or 6 plus coaches, you say, how would you like to add a 0 onto your coaching calls? How would you like to increase your average invoice? Go, yeah, that sounds good. Awesome. Here's how we can do this. This process is about increasing prices, increasing the audience, and also lowering your ad cost. So here's what the flow looks like. Unsurprisingly, this is going to be a big part about content. We're going to split this up. Chances are, if they haven't got traffic, it's because they're not producing any content or they're not promoting themselves. So the first thing you're going to do is create what we call authority content for them. So this is great for copywriters. This is great for people with a content team. You're basically, I talked earlier about how they need to be producing 1 piece a week. This is how you're going to help them do it. You help them produce 1 piece a week. You start with a killer, high quality, long form piece of 10K content. You interview them, you draw that out of them, and you've got a long piece there. And then you say to them, cool, we're also going to do some blog posts for you. Remember, they're already generating sales, okay? So we have a bit more time. Where a lot of people get unstuck with this is they're not generating sales, they're not already generating leads, but they think that creating blog posts will immediately turn them into like a Google ranked business overnight. And that's just not what happens. And that's not what happens. Then a paid platform like Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, what we do is we take those platforms, we start to look at who is reading this type of content, and we both remarket to them like this, and we build what we call lookalike audiences. Look-alike, L-A-L. This scales and begins to grow really, really quickly. This probably is minimum a 9-month process plus, minimum. We're going to help them rank, absolutely, by creating this type of content regularly and repeatedly. But what we're also doing is an audience funnel, an authority funnel, and lowering ad cost inside one of these platforms. Facebook is probably the easiest place to go for right now. I also really like YouTube. I know Instagram's owned by Facebook, but strictly keeping it on Facebook. And YouTube does the same. In this piece here, we take this same content. Anyone who's a lookalike audience, I'm not going to get into the specifics. If you look up Miles Beckler at milesbeckler.com, he'll teach you how to do this for free. He's got blog posts, YouTubes, podcasts, interviews. I absolutely love Miles, love working with him. He'll teach you how to do this stuff. So we take, even if it's 20 people, right? Even if it's 20 people, you can create lookalike audiences from that. If they've already got sales and leads, you can create lookalike audiences from them. And we take those lookalike audiences and we say it's a lookalike audience of their email list, a lookalike audience of their customers, a lookalike audience of their website traffic, a lookalike audiences of their subscribers. And we start to show that same content to them, just the blog posts. Now, I'm even going to go one step further. You take those pieces of content, which are maybe 500 or 1,000 words, and you just have the content, the written content, inside the Facebook post which you are promoting. You say, you know, there is a link if you want to read the rest of it or read the 10,000 word one. Anyone who interacts with these posts, even better than this is video, if they've got video content, and you might have to create video content with them, and it's easy. I'm doing it right now. You just do a live broadcast. Doesn't even matter if anyone doesn't watch it. You take it and you push it out to those lookalike audiences. You say, here's some free, completely free video content. No call to action, right? No sales process, no ads, no opt-ins. You just push content out to them. Because you're also going to build an audience over anyone who watches 50% plus of these videos, put them in another list because they're qualified. And from there, you can start offering opt-in forms. Now, again, typically in the past, I've done it where I've shown them 3 different videos and then one like ad, you know, at the bottom. This one here, when it starts to work at scale, and people wonder how they never did this before. And what I like about this is if you've got this process working and this process working, you can add this one in really, really easily. But there are businesses who are already doing leads and sales who essentially need a campaign. And notice we haven't said, oh, you're buying a funnel. We're basically saying, look, would you like to lower your ad cost? Doing this lowers your ad cost, increase your authority. Even just creating the high content, high quality, long form piece of blog content will increase your authority. And ideally, they've got a book, and then you can begin to mix that into the funnel as well. But you're building out an audience. You're saying to everyone who visits the website, that's one audience on Facebook, right? Or YouTube does the same, remarketing. I also want to create lookalike audiences from anyone who visits. I want to create lookalike audiences from my list, and I've got my list. I want to create lookalike audiences from my customers and my customers. And you're able to use this information, and you pay to put free videos in front of them. That is what will increase authority. And there's ways of targeting off the back of that as well. So those are the 3 funnels we've got. So we've got some questions here. Can that bonus also be a video where you ask them to read a book review, and in the review there is a link to Amazon where they can buy a Kindle? The short answer is yes. I would just test it, man. I would test it. You know, we've got one where, like, after you opt in, there's like a free plus shipping offer on the book, and we then ask for a review afterwards. But test it. My advice is just whatever offer you can think of, really think it'd be really fucking good. Remember what I said earlier, bought sooner. Most people buy in 90 days. They do some kind of, what if we could do that to 1 day? What would be the thing you'd want them ideally to do immediately then? Test it. And you can always split test the offer again as well. I like that tip on the thank you page. Do you agree that it's sometimes better to get the offer right in front of them rather than relying on future nurturing as people in their right frame of mind? 100%. Someone is never more likely to buy than right now. So the number one best time to close on a marketing funnel proposal or any proposal is there and then. This is why I always do marketing proposals live, face-to-face. I'll do them over typically Zoom or Whereby or something. Ideally, I do it in person. And most people go, yeah, but no, the customer wants to read over the offer. They want to read over the proposal. No, they fucking don't. They absolutely don't. It's nonsense. All right? They absolutely want to feel like they're making the right decision. They're making a smart decision. And they'll give you excuses. And they'll say, we want to read it over. You say, look, man, you need to buy this at some point. Would you agree with that? At some point, you're going to have to buy this. Yeah. So tell me what's wrong with the offer that I gave you. Well, I don't like to rush into things. I completely agree. I don't like to rush into things either. But what's the worst that's going to happen if you buy today? Here's the example that I would give. Again, going back to being a doctor. A few years ago, I broke my wrist quite badly in a surfing accident. I had to go into hospital. It was a scaphoid break, really bad one. The doctor told me, we're going to have to jiggle it about. Right, you're gonna have to take a lot of painkillers, which is gonna make you feel woozy. We have to jiggle it about and essentially re-break it, even though it had just broken a few days earlier. I kept it for 2 days. I was like, it's fine, it's fine, it's fine. I kept it for 2 days. They said, we're gonna have to re-break it because it's knitted in areas. We're gonna have to re-break it. You're gonna have to take some drugs. You're gonna have to be in a plaster cast. You're gonna have to come back in 6 weeks and do another plaster cast. And then afterwards, we might have to do surgery. And then you're gonna have a lot of like physiotherapy on it. You have to do a lot of exercises. At that point, what do you think I'm thinking? I'm thinking, fucking fix it. Now imagine if the doctor went, cool, so let me know if you've got any questions. I'll let you think it over. And I'm like, fix it now. Do the thing now. That's exactly what people are in their state of mind when you've given them an offer. So I'm a big fan of putting an offer in front of someone. No one has ever lost a sale by putting the offer in front of someone too quickly. You'll get a rejection, a no, and you go, why? And they give you a reason. That reason is an objection, and it's a way to learn how to sell to them quicker afterwards. Good question, though, Kenny. Appreciate it. We're trained not to jump down their throat after the conversion. I think that's why, and it's funny, that's universal. Yeah, and the reason that's universal is because people have an inherent fear of being disliked. I would gladly be disliked by very few people in order to be seen as, Mike's really keen to help me. He's got all of these products available. This company is really keen to help us. They've got all of these products available for us right now. They clearly want to help us out. I'm not ready to buy just yet, and I don't have to. I can just exit the page. Great. But I do know that Mike is absolutely willing to put offers in front of me. The thing I don't like, the thing I loathe more than anything, is the Warrior Forum ClickBank style launch process where they launch a product to you, they try and 10 upsell pages, and then they just fuck off and they never update the product or content ever again because they've got $1,000 per person. They're what we call white whale marketing because they know that 1 in 1,000 people on their list is going to buy every single product and it's going to generate them 6-7 figures. Okay. As in 10 of those people, 100 of those people are going to generate them 6-7 figures. They don't care about the lower end people. And that's why they then strut around going, you know, every sale we do is, every launch we do is like 6-7 figures minimum. And it's because they have a fuck ton of upsells, but then they never do anything with the customers afterwards. If you want to play the long game, you make an immediate offer to them and say, hey, I can help you out. But you continue that through the process. Would I consider 2K high ticket? No, absolutely not. I would say that 2K could be a core product, absolutely, as long as it's got at least £1,000 profit margin, which means it only costs you £1,000. But you shouldn't be delivering anything for 2K. 2K is a course. 2K is a coaching program. You know, we've bought books and training material for $2,000. If you think that going to university, buying some of their books is $200, 10 books is $2,000. That means that you shouldn't be doing services for that. Your high ticket services should absolutely be in the 5-figure range. Hence, my book is where we get into the plug process, right? 5-figure funnels, that will literally teach you how to sell marketing funnel services for 5 figures. 2K is great. I think all businesses should have a 2K product as long as it's profitable. That's your course, that's your training, that's the level of equipment. And if you go, my customers don't want to pay more than that, you've got the wrong customers. Nothing wrong with them, with you, it's wrong with the customers. Where does a VA come into this? I remember you once mentioned use a VA for delivery. Care to touch on that for a bit? Where doesn't my VA come into this? My VA does a lot of different stuff. The 2 VAs we've got, they look for blog content, they hire people. To be honest, there's nothing in here that you need to get a VA to worry about too much. But if you have a process for creating this, you can pay someone else to do it. That would be where I would start. If you have a process for building out a sales page, this is a beautiful $3,000, $4,000 project here. Single page. And they go, well, we don't have a video sales letter. Great. It's another $4,000 and we'll help you create a sales letter. If you've got a process for it, that helps a lot. But immediately here, there isn't anything that sticks out immediately that my VA would do. My VA is more for my stuff, personally. Cool. All right, guys, I think that's it. So unless I can't see any more questions coming in, I massively appreciate you, everyone, sticking with me here for the hour. Let me take a quick photo of this, and I'll send it out via an email. Yeah, I'll send this out so people can. I'll put this just in an email. So if you're not already on my email list, just head over to sellyourservice.co.uk and just enter the first box and I'll get this sent out to people. Cool. In the meantime, guys, thank you so much for watching. Massively appreciate it. Head over to sellyourservice.co.uk if you want to get any of our free training. I've actually got that 49 niches. I think it's like sellyourservice.co.uk/49 niches. Enter your email address there, and it'll not only will you get 49 niches that funnel builders should go after, as well as it does actually tell you a little bit about what they'll buy, but also you'll get redirected and you'll see how we use that sales process and how you could build that for customers. Thank you so much. Massively appreciate it. No, you're very welcome. Love your book. Thank you so much. Massively appreciate it. Cheers, Mallory. Cheers, Kenny. Meantime, guys, have courage, commit, and take action. Bye, everyone.